Thank you very much, and thanks for the kind welcome, and also thanks for being here and supporting this event. We really appreciate that. And my thanks to Gary as well. I talked to a radio station in Pittsburgh yesterday, did a little spot for them on a pregame show. And one of the points I made was growing up in Pittsburgh, I think one of the things I've always admired is the Steel organization. They've had 3 coaches there since 1968. And if you look at Iowa, we've had 3 directors of athletics now since 1970. And the consistency in the program the Steelers have enjoyed, I think it's paid off for them. And certainly that's something I really appreciate at the University of Iowa. We have a chance now to work with all 3 directors and over the years, different roles, and we've just had tremendous leadership. So I'm appreciative of Gary being here. It's been great to work with you, and appreciate the introduction. Appreciate that. Also know what it's like to be Plan B. Okay, on a couple of fronts. Just sitting there thinking, I think when I went to Cleveland, I was about the 8th choice. Bill Belichick had interviewed 7 or 8 guys that I knew of, and none of them wanted the job, so they finally called me. I got it. I think I had something similar when I came back here 12 years ago, 13 years ago, and not so sure it went that way in marriage as well. So sometimes Plan B is okay, not all bad. So anyway. Thanks as always to the I Club for their work support of it, and great job you guys are doing. Band, you guys are in mid-season form on the prizes, excellent. Spirit Squad, Band Squad, thanks for being here. And also want to introduce a few people. Matt Engelbert does a great job with our video. All of our video work is up here at the front time. Colin helps them out every now and then. All right, we got our group from Kansas City. They're here in town. 16 records, right? 16 records. That's awfully impressive. No question about that. And Mike Barron and the advisory group. Appreciate you guys being here and your support as well. Certainly want to congratulate Kirk, Fran. Just on the big news this week, and that is huge. I think everybody understands the ramifications of that whole thing. But any time when you're trying to gain traction, you get that kind of a commitment. It's just absolutely outstanding, and it also helps everybody. We were just talking in the hall. There's some people, one in particular in our state, that we're very, very interested in, and there's a lot of carryover with those kinds of stories. So it's just a great, great thing, and awfully excited for you guys. So congratulations for really having me. Lastly, this has already been mentioned, but we thought 2 years ago at the Orange Bowl, we came out of there. It was a great experience on the field, certainly, but the way we were treated in Miami, I wasn't sure you could ever do any better than that. And then, unbelievably, last December, when we traveled down to Arizona, these guys, I can't tell you what a job they did. The whole committee is just absolutely fantastic. But Steve, Bob, Jeff, just were unbelievable. They were with us at all times in the hotel. Practice, all that type of thing, and as you probably know, obviously the team and coaches travel, but a lot of families travel, and we're all away from home during the holidays. I'll tell you, these guys were absolutely unbelievable, over and above, and we are so appreciative. So great to have you guys. The last couple of weeks have been interesting to say the least. A couple of weeks ago in Kenny Stadium, unbelievable. Like one of our committed players right now, his mom just dropped me a note, and where they live, they didn't get the telecast on TV, but they did see the footage of the water going down the steps. And so it was certainly an interesting way to start the season, and a good learning process for us. And this past week also has been a learning process. It's been interesting. We lost a very close game, and we've lost a few of those now for sure. And it's kind of interesting. Typically, I'll tell our guys, there's usually 15, 20 plays you can go back to and find that, if we could change them somehow or do a little bit better, it'd make all the difference in a game. And that really has been true over the years. What I learned this week is there's a lot more than 15 or 20 plays in this past game. So it's been interesting perspective there. And then also this week, it's kind of interesting at the press conference on Tuesday, I had a reporter asked me about one of our redshirt freshmen, a young man named Mike Hardy from Wisconsin, a really good young man. The question kind of came out funny. He said, what's happened to Mike Hardy? And I looked at the reporter and said, I don't know. Did you leave the building? Did you see him leaving today? getting ready to practice in 2 hours, so I thought maybe Mike was leaving or left town or something like that. So that was on Tuesday. Wednesday night, I got a call at the talk show. Same question, what happened to Mike Hardy, or where's Mike Hardy? And, you know, so we answered the question one more time, and then yesterday I'm out there checking my mail with Rita, open up a letter, guy from Minnesota writes, you know, hey coach, put Mike Hardy in, you know, So, anyway, Gary Dolphin explained it to me. There must be something going on out there in cyberspace about, you know, Mike Hardy. And the only thing I would just tell you is Mike Hardy's a tremendous young guy, just to set the record straight on this one. He's a tremendous young guy doing very, very well. And that's one of the phenomena of college football. One of the downsides, I think, of recruiting, when there is so much notoriety and praise heaped on young people, a lot of times people don't realize there's a real transition to college. Mike could tell you that, Kirk could certainly tell you that, not only academically, socially and athletically. And every player hits the ground and does things at different rates. 2 weeks ago, you saw a young running back, Mikael McCall, who, after watching him for 3 weeks in the month of August, you know, we knew he was ready to play. There was no question about it. That doesn't happen very often. Brian Balaga did the same thing a couple of years ago. That's usually a real pleasant surprise. More typically, players have to earn their way up the roster, and it happens at different rates for everybody. Not many people really knew who Sean Green was his second year on campus. Certainly a couple of years later, I think everybody is well aware of what he did. And I remember coaching here in the 80s. I coached 3 guys that played in the National Football League that never started until their 5th year in college. One being Ron Hallstrom, who went on to be a first-round draft pick, played 12 or 13 years for the Packers. So, you know, I just try to caution people sometimes. You know, let kids take their track. They're working hard, and they all hit the ground at different rates, that type of thing. And some guys never do make it to the field. That's a reality of the whole thing too. So, but anyway, that was kind of an interesting point. I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but interesting observations when you lose close games. The bottom line is this: you know, both teams really played hard out there last Saturday, and certainly, you know, it was a game that could have gone either way. And you know, credit goes to them. They got the job done. We didn't. We came up short, and we came back and went to work. And a couple of good things that came out of the game was our first road trip, and it was a tough environment. It's always a tough environment when our team goes up there. So that'll be a good learning situation, and certainly there are a lot of tough situations and circumstances during the course of the game that came up that hopefully will benefit as we move along. And really, that's what we need to do at this point. We started that on Sunday. The first thing you have to do is try to learn from your experiences, and then secondly, you got to push forward and try to improve. And that's really where our focus has been this week, and it needs to be. So, you know, our team will be led tomorrow by the same 4 captains. We've had the same guys for 3 weeks now, with Tyler Nielsen and Mike Daniels on the defensive side, Marv McNutt and James Vandenberg offensively. Really happy to announce Matt Rogers will be in town to be our honorary captain. And as you know, Matt was a quarterback of the 5 and 6 team in '89 and led that team to a Rose Bowl berth the next year. Had a great senior year as well and played in the NFL. Matt's a tremendous guy. Great to have him back with us. And most importantly, I think the team's had a good week. I think that they've worked hard. I think we've made some improvement. We're eager to get on the field to see what kind of progress that we've made. And that's really the challenge that's out there for us. We've got 10 games scheduled. You know, the season has not ended. And, you know, we think we're capable of improving an awful lot, but we've got to get that done out there on the field, certainly. We're playing University of Pittsburgh. They come in with a 2-0 record. It's a little bit interesting. We played them several years ago, and the 2 running backs on the field that day were McCoy, the guy that plays for the Eagles right now, a pretty good player, and Sean Green. They come back in here with another excellent running back, young guy named Ray Graham, a tremendous player right now leading the country in rushing. And if you look at them offensively, they look a little bit like the University of Michigan from last year, last several years when we played them. 3 guys on the staff from Michigan have gone to Pitt now. So they've really transitioned offensively. They've done the same thing on defense, and it's a little bit of a tricky scheme for us. So it's been interesting for us trying to match up this week and see what we can accomplish. So it's been a good week overall, and just, you know, very briefly, we're very eager to get back on the field, get back to McKinney. It's great to be back home, and you know, we know it's going to be a great, great environment. So with that, we'll just say thank you again for your support, and we'll look forward to seeing you in McKinney tomorrow. Thank you very much.